Hello there, I'm Khalid Bashir making a video on the history of Somalia. I am in fact Somali, so I speak with authority. Nah, it's not because of my blood that I speak with authority, but rather it is because of the amount of material that I have studied. I think makes me a reliable source for Somali history. I study the issue about 30 minutes to an hour a day. And frankly, I want to talk to you briefly about the history from independence to today. Now, Somalia was split up into three colonies: the British Protectorate, the Italian Protectorate, and the French Protectorate. Somaliland, Somalia, Djibouti. And since then, it has been largely marred by civil war and tribal wars and floods and famines, and devastated by infighting. The geography of Somalia, once a part of Ethiopia's ancient Aksum kingdom, this land saw Somali people arriving from Yemen during the 19th century, between the 17th and then the 19th centuries. The area was a part of Omani Sultanate. The region was then divided into protectorates within British and Italian Somaliland until independence was reunified. Independence came to reunify the country in 1960. 9 years later, the government was overthrown in a military coup, sadly, by a man by the name of Siad Barre, or Afwene, as we Somalis like to say. Attempts at economic reform was hampered during the 1970s by both famine and a conflict for control of Ethiopia's Ogaden region in the 1970s. While political wrangling sparked tribal war and internal tribal war that led to deaths of thousands during the 1980s and 90s, the north of the country declared itself independent as Somaliland in 1991, which isn't formally recognized by any nation, but have made enormous strides democratically, economically, and socially. In fact, it is one of the lowest corruption. It's rated one of the least corrupt societies in Africa. The north of the country declared itself as independent as Somaliland in 1991, while a peace agreement and a transitional government were put in place in the south in 2004. 2 years later, Islamic militants attempted to seize power, leading Ethiopia to send thousands of troops across the border to help reclaim the capital, Mogadishu. The economy. I take that back. I was reading out of a UN World Fact book, and frankly, I think there's a lot of bias in this. Not only bias, but it's bias to the truth. I don't think it's just giving a different perspective. I think it's just outright false. The Ethiopians invaded Somalia. It was Meles Zenawi who was the commander-in-chief, as you know, of the Ethiopian military. He himself is a dictator. So anything he does from the get-go is invalid and worthy of rebuke. He sent in troops, and quite frankly, he had the unwavering support of the United States because they are allies. It was an excuse to come in, and they used the Islamists as an excuse. Now, I, for one, am a Muslim and I am a Somali, but I will denounce fundamentalism anywhere that I see. It's something that needs to be rooted out wholly and utterly. However, Somalis themselves need to grab a hold of their own destiny and shape it. There's no way that any troops from anywhere can help foster a stable society in Somalia. It has to come from within. And so the Ethiopians invaded, which caused even more, as a result, caused more radicalism. And from that sprouted a radical group which today terrorizes Somalia even more so, I believe, in the Union of Islamic Courts, called Al-Shabaab. Now, the Al-Shabaab people are murderous. They are, in short, not good for Somalia. However, I don't think that you could possibly wage war with them and win to make Somalia peaceful once more. I think you need to bring everyone to the negotiation table as it is being done in Afghanistan. The Taliban. The United States realized they couldn't defeat the Taliban. You got to win them over. You can't defeat them. It's quite simple. Economic incentives to hatch out political settlements. You can employ. Most of the Al-Shabaab fighters are not ideological, but rather they do these things for the young men of Somalia who are in Shabab, largely fight for income and security. So you can win them over if you can give them those two things, income and security. I don't think there's more than a few thousand or maybe a few hundred who are actually ideologically driven to pick up arms. Somalia has been in shambles since the 1990s, longer than I've been born, longer than I've been living, which is an outright shame. If it isn't for my generation, the Somali race or the Somali people are at risk of being extinct, quite frankly. I want to speak upon the fact that I want to bring back to the fact of the Ethiopian invasion. In other words, the Ethiopian invasion was a sledgehammer to a problem that didn't need something as forceful of the solution. So they try to fix the problem with a sledgehammer. Now came Al-Shabaab. And now we're in a position of outright turmoil. But there is hope for Somalia. There has to be. There is no other way. Somali people are very resilient. And I hope the people who are in the refugee camps in Dadaab and all across the nation remain with hope and get relief, assistance, badly needed assistance, as soon as possible. So thank you. God bless you. God bless the United Tribes of Somalia.